Welcome to the SuperStar Instant Sequence by Selection tutorial. And when I say sequence by selection, I'm referring to this option right here on the Instant Sequence dialog box that says Sequence the Selection Only. I'm going to select that. And in this tutorial, I'm also going to cover some other miscellaneous techniques that you can use in creating your instant sequences. So in the instant sequence dialog box here at the top here, it has some instructions. It says use left mouse click to mark the start time, use right mouse click to mark the end time. And so I already have the song. Actually, I don't already have the song. I'm going to load the song, Galloping Jingle Bells, and it'll take a little bit to analyze the song here. There, it's complete. And now in this song I'm going to just sequence the first section, which has an oboe and a cello playing, and to find the end of the section I want to sequence, I'm going to click on the play all button, and then when I get close to where I want to stop, I'm going to click on the stop button. So we click on that button, and as I get close to the end of this section of the song, I'm going to click on this button, there, and then I can click on this play 8 seconds button to find the end of that section. There, right about there is the end of the section of the song I want to sequence. Let's play it again. There. And that's how you mark the beginning and end of the song. You'll notice down here in these fields, it has the start time in this field and the end time of 18.3 seconds in this field. And you can go change that here too if you want. You know, as I change this, it changes the selection up here. You can do it either way. Normally, marking the beginning and end time with the left and right mouse click is the easiest way to do it. And I might note also that, see, if you click this play all button and then you click him again, it stops the song, but it does not move you to where you're currently at in the song. And so that's why I was clicking the play all button and then going over to the stop button when I want to find the end of the song. So let's go back to the beginning here, and we can go ahead and say sequence selection, and it's going to analyze the song here, and then in the next step it will actually create the effects. There, it's done, and we can go ahead and play what it created. Now I think that's pretty cool, and I might note that in these YouTube videos the frame rate is not real great, and this may look a little choppy, but when you play it, if you're using the software on your computer and looking at it live, and of course that choppiness will go away. So that looked pretty cool, but we can improve on that. One thing you can do is, if you click on this little button here, well, first I'm going to see, the default is to just show the first 10 layers, and we want to shrink this because we have 12 ribbons. Okay, now we can see all 12, and each layer shows a different ribbon, so that's ribbon 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 on up. So we got that shrunk down a little bit, and if we want to look at the frequency spectrum, we click on that, and the way you get it, just realize these check marks are here that's how you get it to look bigger and to be able to see both the left and right channels. The top line is, the top orange line is both channels, the green line is the left channel, and the blue line is the right channel. And you'll notice here that there is no green line, which means the left channel isn't producing any triggers here. So this is that's an indication, an opportunity to use the stereo option on the timing map. Okay, so we're going to flip that back up, and if we bring up the timing map, we can do a stereo view by clicking on stereo low to high, and I'm going to uncheck theme, color, and movement, and say set, because I'm going to set the theme, color, and movement myself. If you have this checked, then it sets some defaults for you, but we're going to set it ourselves. So uncheck that, say set freq spectrum, and you'll notice the first 6 ribbons got set to the left channel, the last 6 ribbons got set to the right channel, and the frequency got set from low to high for both the left and right channels. So now we go back to the instant sequence dialog box, and I'm going to also change the theme to morphs separating. I'm going to do that for TCM 1 and 2, and I'm going to make it so the first 6 ribbons are using TCM 1 and the last 6 ribbons are using TCM 2, and I'm going to have the TCM 1 use green and TCM 2 use purple, and I don't want any movement for either one for TCM 2. So now we will say sequence selection, and then we'll say play selection, and that looks much more pleasing. We have purple is the right channel, green is the left channel, and that looks pretty cool. But if you notice, the first 2 ribbons never got triggered, and so it still looked cool, and I think it's fine to leave it as is. But if you wanted to, you could make all the ribbons get triggered in the left channel by changing the frequencies that get assigned to each of the ribbons. See, the fact that ribbon 1 and 2 never got triggered means that frequencies 1 to 10 don't have any don't produce any triggers. So I'm going to move it so that the only the upper frequencies are used here, and this will make it so that all the ribbons get triggered, and it also will give us more resolution in this frequency spectrum. So let's try that and say sequence selection, and then I'll say play stop selection. There, now you can see we have all the ribbons getting triggered. Now if you want to get picky, ribbon 2 is he's okay. I think we have some pretty good triggering going on there, and so I'm going to leave that section as is, and we can move on to the next section. And if you remember, we mark the beginning of the section with the left mouse click, and then we click on play all and let it play until we get up to the point where we want to end the section. Okay, that's close to the end of the section that I want to do next, so I clicked on stop. Now I'm going to click on play again. Okay, right there is the end of the section that I want to sequence. So you can see down here now it says 18.3 to 32.75. Now I'm going to leave TCM 1 and 2 the same, but I'm going to change the colors to yellow and orange because there's a lot of brass playing during this section, and brass makes me think of yellow, and yellow and orange are both loud colors to me when this section of the song is louder. So also I'm going to go back because I'm pretty sure the whole spectrum is being used, so we're going to go back and set it to the default spectrum there, and then we'll say sequence selection, and let's play that. Now that looks pretty cool, but you notice I think it's not responsive enough to the notes in the song. A lot of these things were being dragged out really long, and there's too many effects being produced. Basically, it's because the song is so loud, we want to turn the sensitivity down. So I'm going to turn sensitivity down to 3, and the length of the effects were longer than I like, so I'm going to move it down to 3 also. And a good rule of thumb is that have sensitivity and length of effects be the same number. Now they don't have to be, but that's just a good place to start. So I'm going to set sensitivity to 3, length of effects to 3, and then I'm going to say sequence selection again, and then we'll say play again. Now I think that looks much better. There's still some long effects going on, but most of them are shorter. Now, to get picky, if you wanted to, turns out the lowest frequency over here on the left channel isn't hardly getting used, so we can do our same trick of changing the frequency spectrum here. Again, this is just something you can do if you want. I thought it looked fine without doing this, but it's also, I'm just doing this for the tutorial to help teach you what these frequency assignments are doing here. So if we change that and then say sequence selection and say play stop all, and you see ribbon 1 is now getting lots of triggers here. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next section. We'll mark the beginning with the left mouse button, and we'll click on the play all button. And we're going to let it go till we get up to the end of this section. And we're finally getting into Jingle Bells here. Okay, I went a little bit too far, I know, so there. Okay, the end of the section I want to do is right there. So that marks that section, and just one of my favorites to do is either star implosion or star burst. If you do that and put it in all 12 ribbons, it produces some cool patterns. And I'm going to do color wheel by group, and I'm going to change it every 2 seconds. And let's do sequence selection. We'll do play stop. Okay. We're not getting many triggers over on the right side. And so I think this part of the song would look better to not use the stereo thing. So let's go just regular low to high, say set spectrum And now you can see all 12 channels are using both, and it's just going low to high on all 12 channels. Let's do sequence selection again. And now these are getting these are just staying on too much, and that indicates that it's being that the sensitivity is too high. It's like it's getting overloaded, and so I'm going to try turning it to frequency relative, and it turned out well, let's just go ahead and change to freq relative and see what that does. And what that does is not produce now we're not getting enough effects, so I'm gonna put that up to 4 and 4. That looks pretty cool, but just for fun, I'm going to crank it back up to 6. Do play stop all. And I think I like that better. Now, I think we get some really good, cool patterns going on there. And I might back up and, you know, if you remember, originally we had volume relative set here and the sensitivity was lower, and then when I changed to freq relative, even though I didn't change the sensitivity, the number of effects that got produced changed a lot. And just realize that for each one of these 3 settings it says apply sensitivity as, this sensitivity is going to be applied differently, and so this sensitivity number will change the number of effects that gets created, but also these options will tend to change it too. And the reason this looked better when I changed to freq relative was because with volume relative, these upper frequencies were getting like I said, it's like the volume was too loud for them, and they were just always staying on. And freq relative helps even out the frequencies, so each frequency is setting its own volume relative to just that frequency, and that's why this looked better. And just one final thing I want to show here. If we play the end of this song, if we play, I didn't mean the end of the song, but the end of that section, that part where the guitar goes, that big by the guitar, that's going to look better if we just sequence that ourselves. And so I'm going to delete these last few effects, and that part I'm just going to put a morph from the top to the bottom during that time. Actually, we'll go ahead and do one at an angle here. And if you've taken the morph tutorial, you know it makes a difference. I started this click here and ended here because there's a 1A, 1B here, and then you do a right mouse click, start the right mouse click here and the right mouse click here, and that marks the end of the morph. And then this time up here is going to be the beginning and end of the morph. We click on add, and there's the morph that got added. So let's play it. Okay, that was too long. We want, and if you remember, you can change the length of an effect by just using the nudge left button here. And I'm going to shorten his tail length and make the color of his tail be different. Click on modify, and let's make the head be a different color too. We'll have it be yellow. So now let's go. And now that looked pretty cool. Now also that'll look better with some deceleration. Deceleration makes it start out fast and then slow down. So let's decelerate it, and we go. So if you intersperse your own little effects here, you can make the sequence look better. Now of course, you know, you just keep on going on with the rest of the song to sequence here. I'm gonna stop here, but you can see we've done the first minute of the song, well, the first 52 seconds this way, and it didn't take too terribly long to do it. So you can just keep on doing different sections of the song for the rest of it, and by doing each section with a different theme, color, and movement, it makes it look a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and play the sequence as we have it so far and see what it looks like. I think that is totally awesome. So that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you for listening and watching, and have a super day.